You don't need to cry more. You actually need to step up and find strength in how you respond. See, men either numb out or they overexpress. And emotional leadership is not softness. It's actually someone that can own their state without collapsing. Now, in this video, we're going to break it all down so you can find emotional presence and leadership in how you show up and learn how to train that in yourself so that you can be better in every moment in your life. So as you can see here, why most men are emotionally weak and what to do instead. We first need to understand a couple of paths. We need to look at the emotional mastery model and learn certain traits that we can become stronger in ourselves, but we got to know where it comes from first. So weak men either suppress or they explode. This is where the reaction comes from. If someone, your partner, a friend, someone at work is boom, 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 boom down your neck, and you find yourself suppressing what they've said, it shows up as weakness because you're someone that can take it and be seen as not firing back. But you could also be the opposite, which is explode. Enough is enough, which this person can also do as well at a certain time when the volcano eventually erupts. But because you don't know how to deal with what's going on inside, the reaction of either running away or getting angry and firing back is what occurs. And most men, unfortunately, see the anger and the frustration and the gorilla sort of angry bear model as strong men, but really it's weak because emotional intelligence is someone that can hold their ground, to be grounded, to be calm. That's part of it. So how do we become a stronger man? We need to learn how to listen, we need to learn how to breathe, and we need to learn how to lead through that process. So we need to learn how to respond. If we don't know how to respond, it's going to get very difficult to become emotionally intelligent as an emotional leader at the same time. So if you want strength in this space, the first thing is to understand that whatever's going on outside of you is a reflection of what's happening inside of you. So if you don't like what you hear, if you don't like what you see, something inside has been there, and that's why you're seeing it in reality. Your reality is a reflection of what's going on within. So things that you've learnt when you were younger, whether or not they're traits, behaviors, thoughts, passed on by mum and dad or perhaps by friends, these things that we've learnt along the way may have to be unlearned. So if we're going to be stronger leaders in places of dealing with our own emotions, we must first be aware of what keeps coming up. So have a look at your weak moments, because you're not a weak man, but you will have weak moments. So let's call it a weak moment where we either suppress it or explode it. I want you to find 1 to possibly 5 things right now in the past week to month where you found yourself suppressing something or exploding. I want you to ask yourself, once you've got those 5 things, how did it make you feel in that moment? And what was it that made you feel that way? When you understand that concept, you can now be aware of what triggers you. If you know the trigger, it's not to avoid it. That trigger is to give you the signal to say, hey mate, you've got something to work on. There is some sort of trauma or emotional instability there that gets you ticked off. And if we're ever going to move past this where you are strong, calm, and in control of your being, then when this occurs in the future, you must work on it now so it never affects you again. And that's the way you learn to know if you've actually overcome this, is when you're confronted by that trigger again, that you absolutely don't give it the light of day. There is no energy toward it now because it does not faze you anymore. You've grown from that. You've understood where it stemmed from and you've recreated a story around it. So you first must need to understand, where's this come from? Where's the trigger? Where's the story? Where's the event? Understand that concept first, because if you don't, life will keep throwing things at you all the time that will keep bringing it to the front of your eyes to either get the reaction or the breakthrough. The breakthrough is here. But most people repeat the same shit. And what do they say? This always happens to me. Oh, I can't get a break. This again. And they want people to speak to that obviously serves or supports what they're saying. I, as in your coach, mentor, supporter, someone that can guide you, is going to sit you down and tell you that no, you are better than this. It doesn't always happen to you. It's happening for you. And this is your gift to break through. If you don't want to and you choose to stay where you are, then that's okay. Don't expect change. Don't expect things to get better. Pain equals growth, not comfort. Comfort keeps you stuck, keeps you unfulfilled, keeps you complaining, whinging, whining. Nothing a masculine man could ever want or dream of. If you want the pinnacle life that I know every man deserves, especially you watching this, then start by learning more about yourself. I'm not here to talk to you and say, call yourself a weak man. We understand we have weak moments, but be real with yourself right now that you're fucking shit. You suppress it, you explode, and that is that. If you watch my past video, I would suppress when my wife would say things like about my time. So I'd always be late. She would confront me saying things like, my time matters too. If you're going to tell me to be here at a certain time, make sure you show up. And if I don't, I would say the story and blaming that I got to do more work. I got to make sure I get this done. I got to pay the bills. I got to do this. I'm doing this for you, our goals, our dreams. But really, it was a distraction to get away with certain things. But I wasn't in the headspace of serving my wife or listening to her. And therefore, we had that conflict. And that's where the reaction came in. There would be moments of suppressing and going quiet. There would be moments of being exposed. I don't feel appreciated. I do all this. I show up. And this is what I fucking get when all I needed to do was listen. So I'd get triggered by that because I didn't feel appreciated. I didn't feel respected, didn't feel desired. But guess what? As a man, I took ownership. I took responsibility, just like many men have. And what did I do? I learnt what I was doing was wrong. I learnt that the trigger in that was actually already happening inside of me because I didn't value my own time. I didn't value myself. And therefore, if I don't give value to me and my life and my presence, how can I give love, presence, and time and love back to someone else in that space? Doesn't work. So by doing so, I showed up more, the actions changed, and therefore I became more present with my wife. And now these things don't occur. Obviously, this started to happen because there would still be times I would be late as I was working on it, but I would listen, I would breathe, and I'll lead. Babe, I completely understand, and I have made a mistake again. I don't intend to hurt you. I don't intend to not be here. I unfortunately made a decision to put this first, which I know is the wrong thing, but it was meant to get me ahead for something else. And as much as that's not to blame, I still take ownership for why I'm late. I do apologize, and I promise that I'm doing my absolute best to make sure that I value your time. I'm leading, I'm responding. I will do my best and there follow through. Okay, but please, baby, if this ever happens again, keep me accountable because I will take it on the chin and continue to work and get better. Do you think that response is going to get me a different outcome in how we communicate with me and my wife? Of course it does. So now my wife's like 100%. Thank you, babe, for acknowledging that. And I appreciate it. And yes, I will let you know if it does happen again, but I do appreciate that you are trying and you are putting in the effort to get there because I am seeing improvement already. So thank you. So now she's appreciating the times that I have been on time. And that's how you work together to build and overcome things that you might be facing. So remember, this is happening in your relationships. This is happening with yourself. This is happening with your team. the people around you. You need to understand that you've got two choices. You either can react or you can respond. But if you are reactive, understand that awareness is the first key to knowing that you can improve. Because if you don't have awareness, you have blame and you're pointing fingers and you've got stories to why the narrative is the way it is. And if you want to change that, you have to change the story and you have to point your finger back at yourself. Just remember, if you point a finger, just remember there's three pointing back at you. It's just how it works. You are responsible for everything that you do. Now, real men don't ignore emotion, they channel it. And this takes time, but if you put in the practice and you learn how to speak, you learn how to listen, you start to understand that your perspective is not the fucking right one involved with everyone. Like your perspective is different to mine. If I'm looking at this wall, you'll see a different wall. We all see everything differently. And when you understand that, you start to realize that, okay, listening is actually understanding someone else's point of view. Whether or not it's right or wrong, trying to understand and listening is the first step to getting things moving in the right direction. Okay? So I guess to kind of summarize all this, if you want to build emotional intelligence, emotional leadership, where you're calm, you're present, you're feeling strong in your own state of mind, then it's about being confronted in times where you're being triggered, being aware of them first so that you can work on them in those moments. And then you've got evidence that it's working. And it takes time because you need moments to confront those things, to overcome at times. And then you'll notice your story starts to change around it. This always happens to me. This is happening for me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to grow. Because now this enables me to have this, provide my wife this, to be present with my kids around this. You've got stronger reasons. You've got stronger things pulling you and propelling you into a more of a positive outlook versus what you originally had, which was that negative, reactive outlook on what you perceived. So I hope this has helped. But if you want more support, DM me lead, and let's find a way to lead your emotions and see what you're perhaps doing that perhaps is creating a trigger and therefore a reactive response, whether or not it's suppressing you or it's possibly erupting you into this position and the person you don't want to be. So if you had enough of that and you want to work on this and build on how to listen and how to communicate, this is what I do for men in my 8-week masculine rebuild program. If you want to have a chat about just a plan for you, we'll do a free masculine strategy session. Just click on the link below and book a time in with me, and I'm more than happy to guide you and help you with this process. Besides that, if you've liked this video, like it, share it with a mate that may need to hear this. And if you'd like to see more of this, subscribe. I'm more than happy to put more videos up and like to help out more men in my community. So besides that, have a great day and I'll see you on the next video.